Welcome. This is the Founders Atlas, a podcast exploring entrepreneurship around the world through the eyes of visionary founders. I'm your host, Mayuri Reddy. Today, we are traveling to Nablus, a city in West Bank, Palestine. When I thought about how to introduce this episode, I struggled a bit. We've all seen the horrors live streamed on our phones for nearly 2 years, but there are real people behind every headline, every story, each with full lives, families, communities, dreams, and ambitions. My hope is that through this interview, you get to see the human side of a place that so often we hear about only in the context of conflict. The West Bank is a territory in occupied Palestine, situated between Jordan and Israel. It gets its name, the West Bank, because it sits west of the Jordan River. In terms of size, it's about 3.5 times the size of Greater London, with a population a little under 3 million people. It's the larger of the two Palestinian territories, the other of which is, of course, Gaza. Despite only being 21 miles away from one another, or 33 kilometers from the nearest points, most Palestinians who are from one territory have likely never been to the other, if they've had the opportunity to leave their territory at all. Palestine has been under Israeli occupation since 1967. The West Bank is divided into 3 zones, Zone A, B, and C, each with varying levels of administrative and security control shared between the Palestinian Authority and the Israeli military. In practice, Palestinians living in the West Bank have very limited autonomy over their lives. In this episode, I had the absolute privilege of speaking with Jafar. He is the CTO and co-founder of TAP, a career platform with a mission to help people in Palestine, Jordan, and Syria find meaningful employment. TAP has been operating for 7 years and has placed hundreds of highly qualified candidates in remote roles, giving them the chance to secure great employment opportunities while still being able to stay in their home countries. This year, Fast Company named TAP one of the top 3 most innovative companies for social good. What struck me most about Jafar is how resilience is built into his mindset. He sees what others may see as limitations as just fuel for innovation and doing more for his community. And it is impossible to not be inspired by his story and what he's building at TAP. Speaking with him genuinely gave me hope for the future, something that's been very rare for me lately. It was such an honor to meet him, and I can't wait for you to meet him too. Welcome. This is the Founders Atlas. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Founders Atlas. My name is Mayuri, and today I am so excited to have Jafar, who is the CTO and co-founder of TAP. Jafar, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Mayuri. Pleasure to be with you today.
Just to get things started, can you share with our listeners what is TAP and what is the problem that you are aiming to solve?
Absolutely. So first of all, TAP stands for the Talent Acceleration Platform. We are a platform that empowers youth in the MENA region, more specifically in Palestine and beyond. We empower those youth to enter the job market. We have a big problem in the region when it comes to unemployment, and we're trying to bridge this gap and get more youth to more jobs. That's in a nutshell what TAP does.
Amazing. And what was the inspiration for you to start the business? And how did you turn that inspiration into, you know what, this is something that I want to build a business around?
Yeah, well, it has a big part to do with me being Palestinian. We always have this kind of calling as Palestinians that we have to do good as part of our lives and, enhance the lives of our communities. I had the chance to go abroad and study abroad and have some good network of people, good connections and good education. And I thought, okay, well, I should also do something and give back to the society. And I thought this would be like one of the most important things where one could add value in.
Absolutely. Did you always know that entrepreneurship was going to be a pathway for you? I know you actually started your career as a developer. How did you get to the point where you decided you wanted to start this business and maybe transition from, working in a company, maybe more of a stable role where you knew exactly what was going to happen to the ambiguity of entrepreneurship?
Yeah, it actually goes back in the days when I was a kid. My family has always instilled in me the fact that I should not stay an employee for a long time. This spirit of you should have your own business. My family has a family business, and kind of this thought has always remained that I should do something at one point in my life. And started as a developer for about 7 years. And when I get to a point where it was very stable, and it's almost like there's not so much to grow into as a developer role, I thought, okay, well, maybe it's the time to jump into something different, to get a little bit into business and management. This is when I decided to pursue an MBA, and I thought, yeah, I would have a good access to a network of people
Yeah.
that would enable me to do something interesting in my life later.
Your MBA was, as you've just mentioned, was something that was of impact to you. I think for a lot of people who are looking at getting an MBA, usually it's the networking aspect that's actually one of the most valuable things that people gain from it. So can you maybe share a little bit about if someone's like looking to get an MBA, what that network has actually had as an impact on you? What have you gained from that network, or how did you tap into that network to actually reach where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, without the network, it would have been very, very difficult for me to
Mm.
achieve a small portion of what I achieved so far. I was just sitting in Nablus, which is a city in Palestine, with a small group of people. Not so diverse. Pretty much we share many things in common. Now, when I went abroad, I did it in Singapore at INSEAD, and all of a sudden, I had access to a much bigger pool of people from all around the world, coming from different backgrounds, they had different skill sets, they had different networks, they had
Mm.
different mindsets, and
Different perspectives, yeah.
yeah. And when you tap into that network, this is how I met Chris, my co-founder, and together with my strengths and his strengths, what he could bring to the table and what I could bring to the table. Together, we've quadrupled or multiple times we've amplified what each one of us could do on his own. It all started with us meeting at INSEAD and having this common network and this strong group of people around us.
I mean, there's always a common thing of network is your net worth, right? So if you're able to build a group of people around you who are also willing to kind of help build up what you're building, I can imagine it can only be even more beneficial when you're in a place where you don't necessarily have the access to that knowledge sharing without those people as well. Obviously, you've built this business now after being a developer, so you have a development background. So can you talk a little bit about what that transition was like to becoming a leader of a company?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's been like a transition for me, to be honest. When you are a developer, just you just have certain tasks. I was leading a team actually when I was a developer, but I was still a technical person. We were
Mm.
still talking in technical terms, and we were still like very much within our computers. And now it's much different. Now you have people to take care of. You have some dynamics on mindsets of people, and like organizational behavior type of things that you have to consider. It was not easy, to be honest. It was not easy for me. And actually, my co-founder Chris has played a significant role in filling some of the gaps that I have throughout the past period, as I kind of grew further from developer into more of a leader.
Mm.
And this is where actually the complementarity between you and your co-founder, this is where like it's very important.
Yeah.
When you bring something to the table and your co-founder brings like another whole set of skills beyond what you have, this is where like real good stuff
Yeah.
happens. For example, sales. Let's talk about sales, right? So
Yeah.
sales was something that Chris is bringing to the table, ships and managing clients and relationships and all of these things. these were things that Chris was bringing to the table. From my side, I was bringing, the technical expertise, the discipline, the kind of operational execution. Yeah, and then we complemented each other, and we learned a lot from each other.
Yeah. But also, did you do anything before you guys started? Just see if you were compatible? I've heard of some people doing like founder dating where they like hang out with the potential co-founder for a little while and see if they actually, are a match. You guys didn't actually study with each other at INSEAD, right? So you didn't know each other in school, but you know each other from the network, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly, right?
exactly.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
and you're based in the West Bank. He is in Amsterdam. So how did you guys check to see if you were actually compatible in building a business? And now you've been in business for
Yeah.
years, right? Things have worked
Yeah,
out.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, we were lucky actually. The way it worked out was quite interesting. So when I finished my studies, he was building his own startup, and he needed developers. And this is how we met. Eric, our friend, was his co-founder at the time.
Hmm.
We kind of worked the three of us together as a team. So I was building their own startup. We got to know each other. They both visited me in Palestine, and kind of Chris, actually his mother is Palestinian, so he kind of got
Okay, so there's a
to
connection there.
see
Yeah.
Palestine for the first time, and we had a tour, and yeah, we kind of started like developing this chemistry together. And then what happened was Chris is in Amsterdam. He has a good network of people, and he brought the first client to my company. Actually, at the time, we didn't even discuss being co-founders together. Like he just helped me, he just helped me with introducing a client, and then he just introduced another client, and then we kind of said, okay, well, we should work together, we should do something
This is going
together.
really well.
It was like, absolutely. And at the beginning, actually, I was like with my family, like thinking, how my relationship with Chris should be. And my father was telling me, it should be commission based. So if he brings you business, you pay him a commission. And I thought that this would not work out, actually. If I were to build something sustainable with someone, then we really have to be like together. We have to align incentives. And and we just thought, hey, we should work with each other, having worked together for a year, actually. So this whole process took a year, actually, of not being formally together. And then we decided, okay, it makes sense. Let's go ahead and do it.
Amazing. You've been in business now for 7 years. What are you looking to do in the next phase of the business? Or are you guys evolving using the knowledge of what has worked in the last few years in mind?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started actually together under a different name. We started as an IT outsourcing company under the name of Kitos. And at the time, we were just doing, plain vanilla software development house type of work. We got the business to a good level, actually. We reached 30 engineers in total after three years of operation, 3 to 4 years of operation. It was a good business, and we kind of wanted to set an example of how these businesses are run in Palestine. So we were very progressive when it comes to hiring more women, into like having the right culture, having very good relationship between each other, because in many cases these businesses tend to be quite toxic in different parts of the world. So yeah, worked together for a while on growing that business, and we reached to a point where we said, okay, IT outsourcing is becoming very commoditized, and we should actually do something different while still preserving our values and our like initial goals of starting a business. And one of them was creating employment and creating social impact. Also, IT outsourcing would be capped in terms of impact. There's so many people that you could hire.
Yeah.
We started actually an internal program just to onboard people to Kitos. It's a program to bridge university graduates with the needs of the job market.
So was it skills based? What was that program entailing?
Yeah, so it was skill based. So the goal at the time was just to empower the university graduates to join us in a framework, in a certain program that we know the outcomes of. It consisted of technical skills and soft skills, and we started this program, seeing that it has produced excellent results. We said, okay, well, this could be a product. So this program could become a product, and instead of bringing people to our own company, we could help those high potential people get employment at other companies. And that actually was the idea of TAP. So seeing this pilot work, we've done a few other pilots and we liked the results. And we said, okay, let's go full force. There's so many high potential people in Palestine. Let's help them be ready for the job market. And yeah, let's run a business around this. And this is TAP version 1. Now I'll tell you about TAP version 2 in a bit.
Yeah. So then now that you've, through these programs in the last few years, how many people have you helped find a role?
Yeah, so far we've helped over 250 people
Amazing.
start jobs at companies, mostly remote jobs, by the way.
Okay. So wow. So a lot of the folks are being employed abroad, but still able to live in Palestine. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is where like it's really powerful, right? So when you
Yeah.
create an employment in Palestine and people don't have to leave,
Yeah.
that's an amazing achievement. And we're very proud of that.
Yeah, you should be. That also just drives into the economy of the local area too, right? People being able to bring prosperity back home. I can't imagine it being anything better for a lot of folks, and so that's great that you're able to build that. For
Yeah.
your next phase, what is TAP 2.0 then? What are the plans that you have to expand, or are you looking at doing different things for the folks that are part of the TAP network? I'd love to hear like what
Yeah.
the future
Yeah.
holds for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So TAP version 1 was basically it's a program, an educational program followed by career services. So we
Mm,
help our graduates find employment. We thought that there's a more scalable way of creating impact. So first of all, we don't really have to teach people ourselves. There's a wide variety of kind of resources and, even boot camps, and like training on its own is becoming also a commodity. But there is a challenge always with even the most educated and trained people, which is finding the job. So
mm,
going from a ready person for the job to actually landing a job.
mm.
That tends to be a very big challenge for people. As they say, finding a job is a job.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
people approach it we don't think that people are approaching this in the right way. It's quite random, it's quite unpredictable. They just apply on LinkedIn,
Yeah,
but they don't network enough to get to the job, which actually 80% of the jobs are referral based. So if
yeah.
you're not networking, then you're not going to make it. And we built a product around empowering the job seeker to take the right actions and have the right mindset in order to land a job.
Mm,
And yeah, that's our new offering. This is what TAP is. We help people, we help job seekers get to their dream jobs.
that's great. So then how has that then affected the way that you are positioning your outreach? So how are you finding these potential folks? Do you just do things online through, your LinkedIn or doing SEO to promote the work that you have? Or are you working with institutions, universities? I'd love to hear
Yeah,
how you're trying to find those folks that could utilize your support.
yeah, absolutely. Over the years, we've built a very good network and very, very good reputation, very good following. So, kind of people are actually coming to us because they know Tab, they know the brand. From our side, so we sell our programs B2C directly to people looking for a job, but also B2B. So a boot camp or an NGO or a government even can buy those licenses on behalf of the beneficiaries, and yeah, they come to our program and we help them with that.
Okay.
And actually the program is not just a course. There is a big component where there are tools.
Mm.
There's a browser extension, there is a web application powered by AI, powered by
Okay,
like
wow.
lots of advanced stuff to provide the tools needed for the job seeker to succeed.
Okay.
And yeah, we're very excited about that.
Should be. That sounds amazing. So you're really providing not just hand holding from a community perspective, but really technical tools that allow them to be better at their job searching journey to set them up for success as well. It's great.
Absolutely.
And
Exactly.
how are you expanding also regionally? Because it's not just Palestine that you're supporting folks in, right? Or is it
Yeah.
specifically folks in Gaza and West Bank? Or do you do other regions as well?
Yeah, we started expanding to Jordan and Lebanon,
Okay.
um, because they have also pretty much the same characteristics. The labor market has quite similar characteristics. So we started last year in both countries. We're still kind of early on those markets, but hopefully we're coming there in a bigger way soon.
I guess shifting gears a little bit. Obviously, it's like impossible to not know what's been going on in the region as of late. And from what I understand, you've also been supporting folks that are in your network that are working while they're actually in Gaza or in places where there's a lot of ambiguity about what's going to happen, quite literally in areas of conflict. How have you been managing to support those folks, not only in those environments, but also maybe even your own staff that aren't based there that are also trying to support and like navigating how to do that? So be curious, like how have you been maintaining the business throughout what's been going on?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, the answer is it's been super difficult for us to watch what's happening. Yeah, it's been like, um, it, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. The toll it had, and it still has on us, like,
Yeah.
is significant. Many of us have tried to have some support, even from coaches, from psychologists, actually, to get through this period.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the only thing that keeps us going, actually, at least for me, and I know many of my colleagues, is that we're building something that will hopefully enhance the lives of people.
Yeah.
So we feel that we are doing something positive and somehow like adding value in a one way or another. I mean, even though like the amount of pain is so incredible, but at least we're trying to do our part and trying to like make things a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a community there that you can lean on or any kind of network within the West Bank where you can support one another throughout all of the uncertainties that are currently being faced? So, entrepreneurs who, like yourself, are trying to build businesses or grow business during this time.
Yeah, yeah. The entrepreneurial scene in Palestine is not that big, but we're close to each other. Yeah, we kind of know each other, or we support each other whenever possible. One of the biggest institutions that has been very active actually in that aspect is called Build Palestine. They have been running lots of initiatives and lots of like, think tank type of sessions to see how we can support and what we can do and what we need to do after. But yeah, I mean, there is more to be done, to be honest. There is more to be done.
What are some ways that you as a founder ensure that you're getting the support that you need? So, you mentioned that, of course, you're leaning on a little bit of a community. You also having coaches, maybe therapists. Are there any other things that you do to maintain resilience and what are those things that you do?
Yeah, well, one of them, to be honest, is kind of being close to God. That's one of the main things that have helped me. Family, like my wife and my parents and my children. My children actually, they provide me with so much hope. When I see them and kind of, they give you that, okay, the future is going to be bright. I think family, and religion
Mm,
is together. They have been instrumental for me.
it's beautiful. Is there like you kind of mentioned this in the beginning, how being Palestinian, there's this thing that you're raised with to do things for your community and build something that's better than yourself. Can you speak a little bit more to that about how you think your identity as a Palestinian person, particularly in a world where, your entire life you've literally lived in conflict? Can you tell me what being Palestinian has meant to you and also perhaps how you think being Palestinian has made you who you are as a leader as well and as an entrepreneur?
So when you're born as a Palestinian, you're born with some limitations, right? You're not able to move freely. You're not able to travel easily. You might be in danger, or you might just be shot unexpectedly. And while these things could be seen as limitations to your life and to your progress and so on, they could also like motivate you to overcome the challenges and do something great. And when you do that thing that is great, you become very proud of yourself and of your community. And this is what like my mindset has been. Okay, despite everything that me and my community have gone through, we want to build something. We want to show the world what we can do. And yeah, that's the mindset we live by.
It's very resilient. And I think a lot of people could resonate with the fact that we each are facing our own battles. That mindset that there is a way through is an incredible inspiration for those who might be thinking that, okay, it's too hard to make something happen. I mean, you're a very great example of someone who has pushed through those limitations, looked for a better way through, and now you're building a business that's actually helping that same community to propel it forward as well. If someone were wanting to support more businesses in not just the West Bank, but the Middle East, what are some of the things that you would say are key characteristics of the region that they should be really excited about when they look at potential investment opportunities or just looking to even hire talent in that part of the world?
Yeah. So I think what I like most about our region is the people, like the people, the talent that is there. They're very hardworking, smart people, highly committed. I remember like just reflecting on this. Like I remember when I was working as a developer back in the days, we were building software for companies in the US, and we were working with American counterparts. Again, we're always trying to prove ourselves, and we're always trying to show the world what we can do. The feedback we were getting from our American counterparts was always like very, very positive. Seeing how hard we work, how much attention we pay to details, and how committed we are. When you have like very smart people, and you put them on the spot, you give them like a mission to finish, and they are trying to prove themselves. This is what you get when you work with people from the region. Uh, you know, people trying to prove themselves and people trying to show the world what they can do. And
Absolutely.
yeah, they take the challenges.
What are some misconceptions that you maybe want to dispel? So, full context, I'm American. My parents are Indian, but obviously, I've lived in a world where there's been constant conflict in the Middle East at various different times. And I think there's often, of course, but what comes with that is prejudice and misconceptions and a lot of things to dispel. So, if you could speak to someone today or somebody who has an idea of what they think it's like to be not only from the Middle East, but, specifically from Palestine, like what is something that you would want to say to them?
Yeah, well, the first thing I would say is that try to work with Palestinian people. Just don't take the stereotype, or don't just don't have those misconceptions of this is a third world place, and I don't know, and I'm not sure. Just try.
Mm,
And by the way, this goes for not just Palestine, but many other countries
yeah,
where the prejudice and the image that some people might have about people. What I would say is just try and see, and
yeah.
I'm sure that you will be positively surprised.
And when you think about like the future of what's happening in Palestine and also the talent that is there, what is it's happening into the entrepreneurship community or the tech community in the region that should be exciting or something people should pay attention to?
Yeah, well, starting with Palestine, actually, and then I'll go to the region.
Yeah.
In Palestine, the cycle of innovation has not been very fast because
Mm,
of the instability.
got it.
Unfortunately, there is lots of brain drain that is happening.
Got
People
it.
are, in many cases, trying to go and find a career or build their lives abroad, which means that there's less investment, which means that there's less startups and so on. And after the recent events, things actually went back.
Mm.
I don't know, 10 years back.
Oh,
Hopefully, hopefully, I'm still hopeful that um, we're gonna recover. But yeah, like what I like about us at the end is that there's a good number of talented people that still want to live in Palestine, that still want to
Mm.
build their lives in Palestine, despite everything. And I'm counting on these people to just rebuild and just
Yeah.
have the future be better than the past. Now in the region, the broader region, yeah, like things are also accelerating. Again, the cycle of innovation took some time to mature, but
Mm.
now you can see more and more exits. You can see more and more unicorns coming from the region. The startup scene is becoming more lively. You see Saudi Arabia, you see UAE, you see Qatar, and other places. They're investing heavily in AI and startups and tech. And yeah, this would have a spillover effect across the whole region. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very excited, and hopefully the future will be better.
Great. I'm very hopeful for it as well. And I've actually spoken to so many people through the podcast that are building businesses in the Middle East. And it is really incredible to see the kinds of products that are coming out. But also, what I found to be very consistent is, again, it's the cultural influence and how family and community have played a really deep role into their why. So that's a question we can get to is, what does success look like for you when you're thinking about TAP? What does being a success look like to you? How do you define it? And when would you, if you don't already feel successful, but when would you feel that you'd made TAP a successful venture?
Yeah, well, so actually, the main success factor is people getting employment. And when I see our product and everything we've built, becoming part of people's journey towards the job market, when I see more and more people, let's say in the order of thousands, who are actually like landing jobs through our platform, I think that would be a great achievement. And
Mm.
this way I would feel really that I've done something and I've given something back. Yeah, like I've been part of people's success and created the impact basically
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that your success is obviously in the impact you're making externally, or if people reaching what it is that they want. But is that how would you define your own success as the external support or anything that's also internal? Like, what does success look like for you on, like, Jafar is successful if he does this? Like, how would you finish that sentence?
Yeah, well, I have some like internal KPIs,
Yeah.
that I want to achieve, like, kind of building a product right on its own, like building a product that's usable and product that functions well, that's effective, like all of kind of these sometimes technical things that I set for myself as a developer, for example, is,
Mhm.
is also like some of the things I look at. But yeah, but also like also building a successful business, a business that is profitable as well, like
Mm.
sustainability for us. And profitability is important because it means that we're able to sell something that people want, and we want to be profitable and sustainable at the same time, and also impactful. So it's the triangle of profitability, sustainability, and impact.
Absolutely. Right. And we're actually kind of getting towards the end, and I wanted to make sure that we're creating some couple of things. So the first thing I want to ask is, for somebody listening right now who wants to support what you're doing at TAP, whether that is as an investor or perhaps a company looking to hire talent, what are the best ways that they can support the organization, and how do they reach out to you or your team if that's something that they want to do?
Yeah, we are actually a community-based effort. We rely heavily on supporters, on people who wanna give back. And so we have a mentorship program where someone could, yeah, like work with a young person from the region and help them achieve their goals. We also welcome also partnerships when it comes to hiring, when it comes to providing internships, and of course, investment as well. We actually raised funding recently, but always looking out for the right opportunities later to work with the right investors. So anyone can just go to our website and they can find how they can mentor, they can find how they can hire, and they can contact us at any time. It's all on the website.
Amazing. And what type of investors are you looking for? Are you raising a round? Are you looking for angel investors? Just in case there's somebody's very curious about exactly what type of investment you guys are open into.
Yeah, we actually raised a round a few weeks ago.
Okay. It's like
And
a pre-seed, seed stage.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I would say seed
Okay.
stage.
Okay.
But we are going to be looking to raise more towards the beginning of next year.
Okay.
So we're looking for people who can not just provide money, but like also advice and network. So yeah, I would love to chat with the right people.
Amazing. And my last question, what is your hope for the future, not just for TAP, but for your country as well?
Yeah, just peace, I would say, is the key word. Like we wanna live in peace. We wanna have prosperous lives. Just peace, that's all what the Palestinians are hoping for after like all the things that happened. So yeah, just my hope is peace.
Mine too. Thank you so much, Jafar. That was so lovely chatting with you. I think that there is so many amazing things about what you said. Obviously, the way that you also even just speak to the limitations that you might potentially have had or roadblocks you've had and how you've just navigated them and decided that you just were going to, there was no other way through. I think speaks a lot to your resilience and your excitement for doing something for not just your community, but showcasing again to the world that are incredible people in Palestine that just want the same things as everybody else. And you are creating pathways for people to have a better life. So I think what you're doing at TAP is amazing. If there's anyone listening that is looking to hire great talent, I think you guys have quite a few folks that are currently available and ready to work, that can work remotely and are skilled in exactly the kind of development talent so many of these companies are struggling to find folks in. So a great talent, readily available. This is the exact kind of people you're going to need. Jafar, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really enjoyed it. And I'm really excited to see what TAP 2.0 is able to do.
Thank you, Mayuri. It's been really a pleasure speaking with you, and thanks for having me today. And I hope I provided good insights, and it was a good conversation.
I enjoyed every minute. Thank you for tuning into the Founders Atlas. I hope you enjoyed the ride. To learn more about Jafar and his team at TAP Careers is building, head to our show notes. And if you can subscribe, follow, give us a rating, anything to show support for the podcast, it means more than you know. Until next time, take care.